I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is April 7th, Tuesday, 2026. Hope you had a good day today. We did discuss possibly pulling back and then pushing back up for the seasonality. That's why I'm not just making this stuff up, right? We talked about possible pushing up, retracing, pushing up for a new high here back on the 30th. And then if you take a look here, you'll see that I talked about, this higher high, higher low, which we made already. We made the new high and then pulling back for a higher low to then make a new high. That is what we did. We did come and we took out that previous low right here. And then later in this video that I made yesterday, this is yesterday's video, I also then changed this line here to this, sort of basic retail resistance level. And notice how we have not knocked on that 3 times today, but now finally breaking through. Very clear that I've talked about this as well. So let's go into the video here. And you'll see, this is me showing you yesterday about that. And then what did we do? Well, I also mentioned that this could be like a retrace and then an expansion. Well, this also could be the retrace not done. So a lot of movement in Asia, London. We also have all the shit going on overseas. And now what's his name talking about what they're going to final verdict about what they're going to do overseas like today and all this bullshit. It's like whatever, bro. So the price should have been more down as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, it doesn't matter because of the fact that we understand seasonality. This is not me. This is not just, I'm not just making these things up. So as you can tell, if you're new, especially I'm talking to the people who are new, this is a 15-year data. Literally, I'm saying this when I made this example. And I made this example of what actually initially a long time ago. But point is that why are we still going up then? Well, because they know everyone is selling. And they would expect this to sell. So they can do whatever they want. Did they make a new high yet? Look at this. That's why I waited for the end of the day to make this video. Yeah, I think we busted the high, right? Yeah, pretty much. What's the high here? High is 452 and a quarter, and the high here, as of now, is 451 and a half. So some ticks off, right? Equal highs right now. But at the end of the day, that still did come back up. So let me get into the video. So as you can see today, most likely was likely to be a bearish day, but in the seasonality situation, especially with this type of engulfing candle, with the closure of the previous weeks, you can get a push back up. This is used, it's made to be used loosely, this low here. But you can see that we knocked it now 3 times, right? That's why I put it yesterday, because this is just what they do, and this type of price action. But point is that we moved a lot here. We swept that high here, and then so Asia. So the reason why I was to be cautious is what I'm trying to say is you have a swept of Asia's high and low already, right? So because of that, you have to be obviously more worrisome. And then also I expect a bearish day, so it was a pump dump profile. But the problem is with the volatility and what's going on, this could have easily turned into a dump pump, which is actually what it did at the end of the day. Did I end up finding out later? No, I was done. I actually partied with my I had a family member in from LA yesterday, and I just it sucks when I drink or even have a couple drinks. It's like, and I sleep late. I wake up late. My trading is just horrible. I woke up like with a massive headache. I already wake up bad with this stuff, but I'm exactly exhausted now. So let me get into the video. Were we going to break the previous day's low? Is most likely if we're going to keep coming down, and that's kind of what they did. Get into this 25%, and then now, well, you got speaker here situation going on. And then they ended up taking the previous day's high damn near. So all in one day, that's very rare. But this is exceedingly showing you bullish price action, especially with, and I mentioned this April 2nd, right? When you have that, and take a look here. I was talking about, we had the bodies here of yesterday above the 50%, well, at the 50% of this bearish daily imbalance. And then notice how we came down to that level of the low of it, of that bearish daily imbalance, and then we bought right back up. So again, no closure. So again, if this is a 1 minute, we're pretty much, this is a reversal, and I talked about this on day one. This is also possible another inversion to step up and then continue forward for what? Well, I talked about the targets up the top here as possibility, right? All from yesterday's video. So this would look like a nice place to go to if it keeps pushing. But this is going to get tricky here with this level here, and we'll see if we push down. Let me get in the video because I'm doing way too much, man. I don't feel good at all. So you can see here we push up, no bodies. We tag that level again, right? We push down. Here's 930. Let me kind of do this real quick. 930 is push. 930 is already opening up. Before it does, I'm sorry, we came and we tagged Asia's low, as you can see here, and then we come and hit that 25%. I'm still using these levels, people, so that's still on my chart. Nothing's new here at all. And anyways, man, I'm tired. So that being the case here, 930 is here. You have liquidity here. You have liquidity here. Very simple, right? We get the opening range gap here. Sure, you're in a discount. We push up to the 50%, but really, if you have been paying attention, we have an eighth level here. Perfect. That's an eighth. In between the 50 and the 70 and the 25%, or the whatever, you'll see that there's an eighth here, and we tag that perfectly right there. So also, this is the opening range gap, by the way. When we hit it, we pushed up here into, well, we have an imbalance right here with a breakout level. So boom, breakthrough, imbalance, breakout level, liquidity to the left here. And then we raid that first. So selling the idea that it's selling, and it is selling here. So pops up, wick, and then a closure back in, okay? That being said, well, if it's generally a lower low and a lower high that we're building, right, with the drives back up as the lower low, 1, 2, 3 drives back up, retracement, then again, in this fractal, from this range, by the way, in general speaking, from this low to this high that we made yesterday, all this could have been just a retracement inside, and that's just internal liquidity. So from the range from low to high, retracing back, they'll take in 50% and a little lower. What's the higher lows and built in between? And this is the reason why I draw this. This is not like random. But did we take that out? Yeah. Did we make a new fuck out? Yeah. Almost. We came right back to even. So that's what I was saying in the video. Yeah, it's an hour long. Or did you benefit from any of this? Possibly. I'm not saying you had to trade. I'm just saying, if you did you see this flow? Well, I understand that I was trying to come down for liquidity to the left side initially. So, but let the model show out. Let it show me that its hand. So it wants to pop up here. I'm not chasing that. I'm not trying to chase the sell either. But I do know that it hit an eighth level, right, on another chart, right? So pops down. We make a low here. We took out the buy side already. What's left? We got liquidity here. The average daily range was 550 points today, I believe, and then the high here was 420. Let's just say 420. That's fine. And well, what's 500 points below? Well, what's 400 points below? Low hanging fruit. 400 points. 400 points would be 24,000 even. Big figure number. Do you see where we bought from down here? Right, so 24,000, big figure, and then we stretch down more to what? 943. So what's that? So that's 420, another 50, that's 470, and then another 10 points, that's 480. So selling down, you look at the liquidity to the left, you obviously have the low that we made pre-New York, and then we have this yesterday's low. So those are all good areas to hunt for. Now, I'm not saying you had to, but watch, take a look at this. Here's where the fire starts. So with that understanding of what that range can look like, okay? So we pop down and we pop back up here. See this? See, we get these 3 wicks right here. This is not hard to see, right? Got the 3 wicks here. See this? The little swing here. Closes back in the 930s, using it as resistance. That's algorithmic. You have this first imbalance right here of the 936. It already is an inversion, a bullish inversion about to happen. We have the wicks and we close down and make another low. We pop right back up into 50%. I mean, do you really think that's random? You think buyers and sellers did that? If you're new, there's no way. So you have order flow already. Boom, right to the perfect 50% level. I'm smashing that. Why? Where am I going? I told you. Where are we coming down? Well, with this circle that I have drawn here initially, that low is the encompassing of that. And I have the present week gap. Why is that important? Because it's the present week gap. When we bought, remember I bought on Monday, so go watch Monday's video. And I showed you how I smashed the market here from the fucking low here back up, right? And then I told you that we blew right through this and then we made another higher low, right? So they came and got them. I'm aware of that. That was easy. And not that okay, let me keep going. So watch what happens. Comes underneath. That's that. These last 2 up candles are consecutive. Blows in, tags it. Comes underneath again. This doesn't take out that low. They'll do that. They'll do a retracement first before they take out that low. Why do they do that? Just like they fucking did that shit right here. See to the left. Look at the previous day's low to the left. It did not get taken out here. Why do they pull it back? It is a psychological thing. Why do they do that? We talk about it all the time. It's because people are holding the bag selling. So it wants to knock them out, A. B, make them scared that it's reversing and they're going to lose profit and, emotionally put them on tilt, and type of thing. And blah, blah, blah. And get people to buy here even, right? So this is happening right there. Same thing. It doesn't take out the low. Pops back up into what? That last up candle here. Look to the right. No bodies. Tags it. Reverses right over. Beautiful. If you go take a fib and put this high to this low to this retracement, I can tell you it's above 50%. The wick is right there. It's hard to. I don't know why it does that sometimes for this fucking indicator. It's fucking there though. You see it? That's a retracement on the fib. This coming down and a retracement. That's a retracement on the fib. I'm literally waiting for these pullbacks. If it's bearish, I'm waiting for these pullbacks. I'm waiting for it to pull back. And then comes down again. I'm waiting for it to pull back. If it's not doing that, dude, I don't want to be involved. Why? Because I demand what I want in price action for me to participate because I know this is what they do. Do you think they did this for you to not participate? Do you think they lied? Don't you think it's very clear that they made this on purpose? This fib retracement? You can eyeball it. I'm not even going to pull up the fib. Can't you fucking see it? Why do you think that because they did it so easy, and I was actually, initially I was like looking at the fucking chart like, dude, I'm not even going to trade. This is crazy looking. Bad day. And then for a moment it was going sideways and I was like, what the fuck? And then it went underneath this inversion. And then it was just beautiful. I was like, oh my God, beautiful fucking price action. After that, general speaking. But why do you think they made it so easy? If they made it so easy, that means they're probably gonna come and ram it. You see that? Okay, let's get back in the video. I want to make it short. Pops in, comes into the circle. My initial target is that low, this current week gap, and then obviously the 50% of this thing here. Does it have to stretch to the previous day's low? It does not have to. I'm not even concerned or worried about that. What does the price action do here? Dude, just beautiful. Every candle. Stop loss, 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 stop loss. Oh, look what happens when that stop loss gets taken out. It actually goes back. and retraces back up. What's this? What's this oversold? Wow, wow, what a beautiful trade. I took this too. This buy. Where did I take it? To my circle here. Why? Look to the 15-minute. It was a breakout. So this low, we broke through it. We retraced right back up. Where? Look what I got. Look what I have highlighted here. The price shoots out of the candle, comes back in, misses the open by a tick or whatever, but it comes back in the candle. Boom, buys up, buys up, buys up. Oh, look at, why do I have the circle here? Well, I know that when the price comes through this current week gap, people are selling here. So they come right back for it. Why am I circling from here to here? Because what I just said here, plus we love to go outside the gap, plus we look to the left, we want to hit that low. Doesn't have to be perfect. We have an imbalance there. Excuse me. And then it happens to be the imbalance to sell from when it makes a new low. But look at the body stopping at the 25%. This is not random. Remember, they built that liquidity, that structure and liquidity on that 25%. They're building the structure based off of the fucking algorithmic level. And people who are retail traders do not know that. Then they make this a resistance level. Perfect support resistance level. Oh my goodness. We're betting the farm on this. They sell it off for another low. So this big candle, change the delivery here. You got one here, but it's funny. But you generally speaking, when you get the first like swing that you want to sell from, it won't sell it from there. It'll give you an extra jive. So that's kind of what this is. And then you make a new low structurally, right? Like if you try to take this low, and then this, you thought this was a lower high. I understand the logic, but at the same time, it is. I mean, you have to be able to accept a loss if it comes up. What does it do? It shoots right up. Why? Because why do you think this fucking candle did that? To still then come back down? Because they knew you were fucking selling right here, right? Because they knew you want to make a new low. Why? I just got done saying the previous day's low is fucking right here. Previous day's low's right there. And we bought all the way back up right there on that low. With no wick on that candle, also just another little tidbit, and then you might think this is like random, but let me see from my where was I here? You see Thursday's opening range gap. Look at the low that we made here. Look to the 50%, real close, squeezing everything in here. And then we ended up making a new low and then almost hitting that 25% quadrant. But what is this? Wednesdays? Wednesdays is key as well. Yeah, pretty much perspective. Look at the bodies. Look at the bodies to the right. That's a 15-minute to the right. Look at the bodies respecting that 50% of Wednesdays. Look at that. I'm just doing a little extra too much, but the point is that when it shoots up like this to try to get people who are selling back and forth, bodies close back. That's the algorithmic signature. Comes underneath. You're getting the flow underneath 50% perfectly. Then shoots to the 25. Comes outside a hair, right? And then it's pretty much the logic. Now you are not oversold. You've pushed back again, and then what do you get? You get this candle, this 1109. You have time involved. The macro's in. 11's going to push it back up. The London close is going to come back up for all the lower highs that were created after 10 o'clock, right? So that 4-hour candle also, it was pushing down, and then it pushed back up, and it closed back up here. So when 2 o'clock came up, well, before I even get to 2 o'clock, but just understand that 4-hour candle, it was a bold-face bearish candle. Once it took the liquidity, it popped up. When you see this type of push right here like this is a good sign of reversing. You have on the 15-minute very clear price action of reversing as well. And then that schematic of another push-up high is most likely. So this is becoming actually a dump and then pump. But with these beautiful retracements here on the fib entries, this is a signal to you to say, well, we might come back up here. Because this was not hard. It was not. If you didn't make it hard, it was not hard. The price action to the left was fucking hard. But that was not hard. It really wasn't. So, why do you think they fucking run quickly to it? Do you think buyers and sellers happen to make it run quickly back to that? Think. No. They know because I got their ass here. Okay? And when this bought up, why do you think they slammed back down? Because I got their ass. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta take profit. In a day like this, in a situation like this, the thing is that with the uncertainty and the volatility, there are going to be trades. There are great trades, but the goal is to take the profit, right? There's no sense of waiting days, and you can. I'm not, listen, hey man, if you're a swing trader and you're still holding it from down here or whatever, God bless you. Good idea, cool. I was able to know that was most likely going to happen seasonality wise, and I could have held it, right? I don't need to. That video was made on the 30th. We are on the 7th today. Okay. So, anyway, what was I saying? So, that being said here, the signature of the fake push-up candle, if it's really strong, if it's really bullish, you want to see this candle and then stay partially empty. See how this candle's strong, partially empty. See this candle here? Strong, it's not empty. You see, sharing the previous candle, that's not what you want to see when you're bullish. Right? So that's why it broke down. And then you followed for a new low. Why did they make another low? Well, besides it not taking the previous day's low here and then people holding the bag to hurry up and rush, why do you think they came here? It ain't just, it is because it's a breakout area. It is because all you had to do is push sell right here and it just fucking leaked. Candle by candle. Didn't even give you any resistance or nothing. It just literally leaked. So it's like, okay, beautiful. It's very obvious that when this changed here, to buy here, back here is a minimum. I don't give a fuck if it kept going or not. That's a model in itself. This is one of my models. It's called a breakout, back to breakout, I call it. Right here. You got an algorithmic level incorporated with that model. Okay, let me move forward. After that, the pullback again, the next sell again, this next leg down here is because everyone wants to buy on the first fucking drop, right? That's what this is. Cool. Then we literally close right above that. I'm not even going to draw it, right? So it's a reversal already, balanced price range, strong candle closes, and we're off to the races, right? It's on that quadrant, so it's a breakaway imbalance. It's a high quality breakaway imbalance because it's laying on that 25% quadrant. Beautiful, let's move forward. Where does it go? Well, when you take this buy, you're like, oh, what if it's just a lower high and it sells up? Yeah, I could have done that. But don't you think this was easy? I'm not saying that you should have seen it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is to be aware of these things. Okay? So, and I'm already done for the day because I'm already need to go take a nap because I'm exhausted from yesterday. It's like, dude, I cannot handle my liquor anymore. I don't give a shit what day it is, what's going on. Like, and I went to sleep late, dude. So the combination of liquor and you do not trade. You got to perform like an athlete every day, bro. And I'm watching the NCAA game yesterday, and watching Michigan win. And I'm just like, bro, I'm like, I can't hang during the week. That's why I have to wait for the weekend. But your quality of sleep is very important for the next day, dude. So anyways, I knew this was going to be a shit show for me, but they happened to make the day nice here. I don't know what to tell you. But big push-up strong candle, retracement, imbalance. I'm not going to draw it. You go do it. So an imbalance here too. And then see this low here? See, that's the low. Look to the right. See how that low matches that low? Why? Because when it goes through, someone's pushing by, as soon as it crosses this level, it's a swing. And as some people call it a head and shoulders here, whatever. It's just, it's just a method. Pushes up, where's it going? Rushes right back, out of all the places, rushes back to the 930, first imbalance. With that little wick right there. Why did they go a hair above that guy? Because that was important. They know we were selling here. Bro, they put the first imbalance here next to the 930 level so people can think that they're incognito of not using the actual 930. But what they're doing is they're just trying to get around it. They will use it. I'm just saying that's the purpose of this first imbalance. It's not a coincidence that it's generally near the 930 level, right? Okay. Move forward, shot right through. Okay, bro, whatever. Bullish imbalance here. We're above that 25%. And then we come and play around in the first imbalance. We straight to the 50. You think that's coincidence, man? You think that's coincidence, dude? Right to the 50 there. Beautiful. Now that it's taken all the liquidity to the left in a rush to do it, what do you think is next? Well, even if that's a shift of structure, low, lower high, lower low, shift of structure, well, where's the breakout level? Right here. Because you make this high, and you make another high, and then you slither up. Boom, another high, another high. And this is all happening around what? The current week gap. So when it got to the 50, nice wick, strong, and then overbought here from obviously the 1 minute, and then retraces back slowly. That becomes an inversion. I didn't draw it. This is 135. Here's a first imbalance of the PM session. I actually have it drawn on my chart today. And then we come underneath the 930 and just blindly, if you didn't have nothing to the left of the chart here and you just had this, well, do I need to pull a fib out? I don't think I need to pull a fib out, right? Can you tell that that's a 61? Let's take a look. Can we do that? I fucking guessed. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I mean, we're talking about like to the tick, right? So, intensive purposes is 50% equilibrium, coming back, getting back into that current week gap because, again, they're making decisions off the above it and below it. Why? Because it's a time-based level. Because anything above it or below it, that means if it's above it, it's going above it, it's buying. If it's going below it, it's selling. And the rest of the week will be that. Or it can consolidate the whole rest of the week. We've used it a little too much for my liking. That's why we might be in an indecisive situation. But the inflation might push it up with this war. Oh my God, what the hell just happened? Right? So, hey, whatever, man. The point is that I've had nothing on the chart. We went up to wipe out the left sellers on the left. We came back down to wipe out the buyers on the right. I mean, on the bottom here. Come on. That's all it is, dude. Because this is not a lower high anymore. If you keep fucking popping up, bro, that's not a lower high anymore. That was the lower high. So they come in for a little measure outside of the gap. They don't need to hit the 50. That's fine. And then fucking boom. Right back to the 50. And then retraces back. Watch this. Comes to the first imbalance of the PM session. Out of all the places for this to hit the 50, come back and it fucking stop. You telling me by the tick that the bodies just stop and then take off from it? You fucking really think buyers and sellers are able to do that? That's a reclaimed bullish imbalance, in a sense. And that's it, man. And then no bodies there, and then it just takes off. Comes above the 930, sweeps on the first imbalance one more time. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgot to mention the midnight level is all nested in there again, just like the last yesterday. And then fucking takes off, dude. Look at this, man. Come on. Shoots right there to almost the settlement, because now guess what? This was never sealed, right? And then that was their agenda the whole time. Look at this shit. You got this high, you got this high, and then this high again. Amazing. Again, they come back down to wipe out all this because they've already did that agenda, right? And then, boom. Oh, you don't say. You don't say. I mean, that was nice. That was pretty nice and outlined yesterday. Um, with this. See what I'm saying? Again, I'm not sure if we're gonna keep going this high or not, but the pullback and then a new high is pretty much the case. I think we did make a new high now, didn't we? Yeah, I think we did. Let's go back. No, still not. I thought we had already made the high. Oh no, sorry, the market's closed. No, we didn't. It's a tick below. Anyways, so that's still in the picture there, and then I made my point here, right? Everything else is. Oh, and then the present day gap was that level too, by the way, next to the settlement. And then I have also the first imbalance from Monday, which is important. So you can see, I don't have it. Sorry, I don't have it. I'll drag this out real quick. As you can see, boom, we rushed. Look at it closely. Look at it. You see how it ran right to the 50%? You think that's ran? It didn't even hit the settlement. It hits the 50% of that. Come on, dude. A little imbalance in there. And then we use it as support. Look. Is this too much of an eyesore? Yes, it is an eyesore. There you go. All right, see that? Boom. Oh, look at the bodies. Look at the fucking bodies. Come on. So there's that. All right, there's the first. Mondays are always important, and Wednesdays. And then what's this one? I have it dragged out here. This is from last Wednesday. All right, I have it drawn out. I mean, you thought I was gonna forget? Oh, I wasn't gonna forget. Oh, you don't say. You don't say. You saying that the 61 fib was perfect, but it happens to be on the one of the most important first imbalances of last week, which is a Wednesday, Wednesdays. So Wednesday, nested with that first, nested with that. Look at that right there. Look, okay. Let me stretch it out. See the 50% right there? Come on, man. Come on. So, yeah. What does this do? Right there. Pushes up from this candle. Pushes up. Comes back in. Deep. Not what I want to see. Stops right there. Out of all the fucking places it stopped. It stopped right there. Okay. Comes up for a new high. Slams back in for a higher low. That's a higher low. The structure's there. Beautiful. 50% right there. Takes off. That's fire. Nice little double bottom. But that's how you want to wait. So you're like, you don't get hurt. You want to wait until you're going to ask, well, you're teaching for it to come back out and come back in, but look at it. It did it on that candle, and it took out, oh, barely. It did not take out this guy right here. That's why it wouldn't be good. The reversal here, on this reversal, yes, it worked there. Why? Well, because we know that it didn't take out the previous day's low yet. So we know that they love to do that. If I take this trade, I have to also squeeze out, because now could they have made these equal lows and then still pushed up? Yeah, they could have done that, because they could have just saved it for the news for whenever they want to ram it later. That's fine. So taking this buy was still a good buy. Okay. But this one, when it happens here, doesn't come back in though. It's gone. It doesn't need to. But notice how it happens on these consecutive candles here, these 2 down candles right here. So that's when you'll see, in this case, right there, comes above it here and then dips back in. Now you miss it probably by a tick or something by the open, but that's generally speaking the closure above these consecutive candles. You can use the last down candle. You're like, why not this one? This is because the body's not lower than this. The lowest body is this one. All right, I've done enough teaching. But that's what I'm saying. You know, while this is just literally tricking down, I'm trailing the stop, and when I get triggered out because of the stop, it's because it's most likely going to reverse. That's why you'll see me take a buy immediately when I get stopped out, because I know that's a change of delivery, and you wouldn't want to see that. Now you're going to say here, well, here it took out the low and then it comes above this candle, comes above, and then what happened? It slammed back down. Guess what? The first time you want to try to buy it, it's going to fail anyway. So you are expecting it to happen on the second one. That's why we look at 2 drives. That's why we look at divergence. That's why we look at, okay, now we understand price action. Notice how there is no bearish candle getting broken yet until when? There. And really there. So what I'll do in this case is I'll just buy it right when it crosses the candle. Literally, just as it crosses over. Put a buy stop, whatever the fuck you want to do. Okay? So, a little extra tidbit there. And then as far as the macro times goes, this is a beautiful trade here. Coming back into this imbalance because now you have the 950 kicking in, and then it spools down, and then over here you have the 11 macro kicking in, which is beautiful. Changes direction. Okay. And then lunch kicks in. Obviously, lunch will hunt liquidity. So that's explaining that push up there. All right, and then what else here? You get the 250 macro. Oh, back to the 4 hour before I forget. So that 4 hour, it popped back up and it closed as a reversal possible candle, right? So knowing that, so 2 o'clock comes in the picture, and then you can see that it opens up. It comes back into the previous wick and the open of the previous candle. But if this is going to be a swing, which it was, then you're going to see this expand. So that's what this was. It first came down to wipe out the liquidity on structure. If you looked at the 1 minute, you didn't even know what a 4 hour looked like. Well, you didn't need to because of the logic that I've been explaining in the video. But then notice that it will stop and it returned, and it's coming for a new high. So going for a new high here, that's why they know that this is a high in the previous 4 o'clock candle. That's why you see this rushing here. You also have a macro of the 315 kicking in, 345, and where is that? Right here. So notice right here. So notice that this candle is happening on that quadrant. Breakaway imbalance shoots straight for till 345. And then I've already explained this stuff here. And then, this is probably market on close. Or no, not yet. Yeah, it just pushes up and then dangles around that area. I think I've said enough. I always do too much. And then that sell here, we had a higher high here with NAS and then lower highs here. So that was implementing the initial sell. Then we got the order flow. So it was that pump dump first, but in reality it was on the larger scale of the day, and the environment that we have going on, it became a dump pump, right? But for me to get from here to here was all that mattered. I don't give a fuck if it was bullish or bearish. It didn't matter. But I did follow order flow, and I did follow the structure. I mean, keep it simple. I don't know if it's going to come up here above here, but I can see the price action and delivery that it's possible. Once we got down here, a little very minute, you can even probably notice this, but there was a miniature divergence on Dow right there. But otherwise, it was just they all made new lows and they rated lows. So when you get to this second drive, that's a very big indicator of buying as probability goes. We came up here. Nas did not take out that high, and then they both made new higher highs right there. So in general sense, it's kind of like a shift of structure from that swing here. And then it retraced back. So because of that, it retraced back here. We had a higher low here with Nas, and then we fucking took off. Beautiful there. Am I missing something there? Nope. And then as far as VIX goes, VIX was immediately pushing up here, and we made these highs. So that's us selling off. And then VIX started coming back down here. All right, and then that's when it crossed over for us to that shift of structure. And then what was strange was that this started going up here with us. So it wasn't really that helpful. But then right here, this was where that 61 on the fib was, where I showed you, where we came back to that Wednesday imbalance or the current week imbalance where we bought back up. So once they did this, right, with this exponential candles here, a lot of opportunity on the oversold. We came back down. That pushed us all the way back up. So that was nice if you were still trading. And you could, on the 5-minute, definitely more clearer there. So you can see this, boom. So essentially, we're pushing up here while VIX was retracing back, remember? And then when it topped like that, and then you saw this, it's like, okay, boom, you know, we're blasting back up. So we have also dollar coming back down. I talked about this, if is it going to fail or not. And then were we going to see something like this where we made a high, we popped up, we played here, act like we were going to be bullish, but then we turned bearish here. And then it's like, lower, 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 high type of thing. Eventually, this is pretty deep for it to be bullish, in my opinion. So I don't know. Do they want to come in for this liquidity here and here? Get into this area, this guy right here. So that will give us that run up if we're still bullish, if we're bullish on indices, right? So there's that there, and that was helping with the idea of pushing up there. And then Dow just kind of, not really helpful. I said this is not a fun place to be, but we'll see what they do. They're really selling the idea that it's bullish. And I'm pretty much neutral, man. There's nothing I can say right here. Did it follow what I planned? And was I able to see a trade if I didn't know if it was bullish or bearish? Yeah, I was able to still see a trade by us selling down just from the order flow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that was it. But it looks like it's poised to do anything here. So beautiful there. Pump dump. Initially, very similar. Look at this shit. So this is why I don't trade Dow. So what's it called? You got a lower high here, and then a lower low, and then you got a new high here, and then you still make a new low. What's that called? Speaker, right? Trying to confuse. That's what they're doing up top here, anyway. In this type of situation, and then still makes a new fucking high, bro. That's why I was so good at manipulation. That's why I used to attack. I used to if this turtle souped and swept them, I would take this buy and then hold it for here. And it's just like so toxic to fucking trade that way. Even though you can trade that way, but for it to be a model and for it to be sustainable, it's like, no, dude, it's not fucking smart. Why do you want to be a part of that? And then, oh my, look how, and then this is the other reason I stopped trading Dow, because of how deep it would come. It's like, bro, why do you need to come that deep, dude? It's like, fuck off, instead, okay, it's only got 30 stocks in it. Okay, fine, dude, cool. But that's why. Come right back. This is crazy. That's crazy. So moving forward. S&P with the new high. All right. So did you guys see my drawing pan out? So, no, that should look kind of good, but they are at a resistance. So this could be all looking smoke and mirrors and just fun. That's why you want to dial back, dude. So, there's that. So, pump to the 50, down, 2 drives, pushing that back up for a shift of structure in a sense. Retracing back, beautiful breakout area and balance. Oh, not a coincidence on the current week gap. Body sitting there, whatever. It makes a new fucking high. Congratulations. You know, not to make it any different. I saw this today. This is what I saw. I didn't see anything else. This is what I saw in the day. That's it. That's all I saw in the day. I didn't see any of this. I didn't see it even coming back up. I was definitely lethargic today. I'm still lethargic now. I think I'm going to leave. So anyways, and then Nvidia making a new high here. Like this better be a nice, if it's bearish, this better be a nice super wedge here, bear flag. And then you literally got to, it's so funny that they would use what's happening tonight possibly to come back down. I mean, it's kind of like the only way it can happen. Isn't that funny? So, and that's the other thing. With it pushing back up, everyone knows that it should be selling. So people are selling, and they're married to selling. So what do? You get another push back up. That's it. So I'm coming in the day knowing that too, right? That's why I was still able to buy this, I was still able to buy that. Here. I quit here. So, I need to go. I think there's nothing else to say. So I already have the drawing here. There from the 30th. I already have the drawing here. We're now here. We've done all this and we're here. Right? And then what I will say is if based off of so looking at the seasonality real quick, I've been pretty good on it. So far the 15 year is panning out. And yeah, it should be like slower motion up. So I'll leave the way it was, as you already know. The 5 year, you already know it's straight the fuck up. And then the 30 year is the caveat. And I keep saying this in every video, but I'll do it one more time. I'm not going to draw anything else but this now. That it's literally going to be like some type of like, I don't know, maybe some type of like spike here. And then, okay, I'm going to stop just for a second. So it's going to be this. So it's going to be either this for the rest of the month, because April is high probability. I've said this already in the beginning that it's a bullish month. Okay. So, in our current, where's the current monthly imbalance right here? Oh, right here. Okay, that's the monthly imbalance. That's last month's imbalance. This is Wednesday. I know I should be making it. Well, you'll see. Well, the ones that are really dragged out is the ones that are the months, right? What was I going to say? So the 30 year, it's a big pullback, and it actually starts happening now. So that's why I'm going to draw this for you. It's either going to do this, where it comes back in, and then makes a new high later, which will be. I mean, I'm not all talking about tomorrow. I'm talking about it's going to sell off until like the 14th, 12th, or whatever, whenever it is. All right. And then it continues back up for the new high. Okay. I'm going to say this. It's either going to do for the 30 year. If it's either going to do this or it's going to really come lower, as we discussed, to get more. And then go back up. I know this sounds not likely. I'm going to bring this up real quick, and I'm going to say that are we in this scenario here? Okay, where we broke through, we broke the resistance high type of idea, we popped back up, and then we rolled over. I think Trump's tariff was right here. Was it April 2nd? of last year? I can't remember, but I feel like it was. It was either here or here. I can't remember. I don't care either. Point is that this retracement back, take a look at it. And, we fell short of some objectives kind of on this continuous contract. But the way these wicks are showing here, bouncing back up like that, like, it's possible that, but it would, again, like I said, it would have to roll over real soon, in my opinion. Or do they want to reach the previous month's first and balance? I think I've said everything I wanted to say now, but as far as the rollover again, I mean, it would make sense that we're in this scenario here. I mean, we're in a much worse situation right now than we were here. I just don't understand how they don't roll over again, right? So I have to keep it cool. And what else? I think that's good enough, right? So yeah, I've said everything here. You guys take care. God bless.